Okay, so we've had a really, really good response from our request for people to send in their questions on interviews, on their careers, what they should do with their next step. And so please keep them coming. The email address is below, but if you're just listening to this in the car or somewhere, it's rob@thegrmgroup.com. I am going back to everybody personally. I'm taking a little bit of time depending on the request, but and the best ones are being read out, and obviously names will remain confidential. But we've had a really, really good response. So what we're hoping to do now is actually bring these videos out in the morning of every Monday, so that people can listen to them on the way to work, and maybe there'll be something that resonates. There'll be a live question and answer as well. So keep an eye out for that. And one of the emails I received this week was from someone in-house who was asking, it's a really interesting question actually, and it was very much about the fact that they'd been with the company for quite a long time, and obviously there's a lot to like about the company, paid well, lots of responsibility, team under this person. Obviously they were feeling that there was still some progression, and everything's been going well. And it's nice to see that someone had stayed quite a long time as well. But more recently, and certainly in the last couple of years, they described that there was a problem with the culture, whether that was being brought in by senior management or whatever it might be. But there was a problem where it was becoming quite a little bit poisonous. It was affecting this person's mental health, and they weren't sure what to do. And they weren't sure what to do because they were very likely to be offered a promotion to the head legal person or position. And they weren't sure whether they should, cut off and leave now, or whether and look for something else, or whether to take the promotion and continue. And it is a real tricky one. So what I said to them was, look, first of all, and this is a real personal issue. If someone's mental health is getting affected by their employer, then my strong preference is for is for you to leave. If it's being caused by people and the way that they've changed the environment potentially, or the way they've changed your targets or whatever it might be, then it's not going to get any better. So whilst I would never. It's hard because every single person's situation is different. It's hard to give that clear advice. But if it's affecting your mental health, then seek a change. So with this particular person, what I said to them was, I said to them that would be my preference. But secondly, they've been there a long time. There's a lot of goodwill been built up, and depending on where the pressure is coming from or the poison is coming from. If one was to be promoted, would you still have anything to do with those people? And again, that's I haven't had an answer yet. But if by being promoted, you can remove some of that negativity, then I would suggest they stick with it and take the promotion. If not, they should look elsewhere. The second thing I wanted to bring up as well is that we've been discussing it internally in amongst the team here, and it's something we face a lot of. It's at the senior end, so the senior lawyers that we deal with, the partners, GCs, heads of legal, that kind of thing, is when they're looking for a move, they're often conflicted, and it's often financial, and it's really the short term or the long term. It's and really getting them to think about what the next move is going to entail, and is it answering short term issues. And where will that put them in the longer term? We all know that there are issues. The cost of living is affecting everybody across the world. We all need more money, and when a move comes or a potential career move comes into play, then the first thing you look at is is the package on offer, and if it looks very good, you're likely to take it. But that is short-termism. And we really, really do try to get our, when we're being consultative to the lawyers that we work with about their career, is try and get them to think about the medium and longer term. because whilst it may be a nice move to go and get a 20, 25, 30% pay bump, you don't know where that's going to put you in 2 or 3 years' time. So my advice and our advice is always really try to extract yourself and start really looking and asking the questions of where it's going to put you in year 3 to 5 to 10, up until potentially retirement. So yeah, there's a short-termism issue sometimes with senior moves, and it's something that we want to try and get people to avoid or at least think about. And also there's another thing that we've been looking at a lot, and this is more at the junior end of the lawyers that we're working with. So anywhere from 1 year up to probably 5 or 6 year PQE. There is a common thread happening where people are tending to move every couple of years, and we really, really advise people to think about it very, very carefully. Good lawyers are being chased, sought after by every firm, every company, every law firm, overseas. We were talking in the office the other day, and we were trying to work out, if you were a really good young lawyer in South Africa, how many LinkedIn messages you've probably got from recruiters every day. And we're probably into double figures every day, all saying the same things. We've got an opportunity for you that X and Y and Z, without really knowing you and what you're looking for. I often reflect on this from my time living in Asia. So I spent nearly 9 years living in Hong Kong, working all of the Asian markets. And as there was a need and a big increase in the need for Chinese-speaking lawyers and those that could draft in Chinese, there were coming from clients. Obviously, there was just a desperation amongst the law firms to hire people that could do that. Very small a number of talented people in that marketplace, and therefore they were getting snapped up. And they were moving every year, every 2 years. Money was being thrown at them. Can tell you now, it damaged every single one of their CVs. Because there comes a point where you've had too many moves. We've already seen it with people who've had 5 years in 5 years, 6 years in 6 years, and it even here in Cape Town and Johannesburg. And it is so damaging. Yes, it's very flattering to be headhunted. Yes, it's very cool to get a nice pay rise. But don't move that often. You need to let your career breathe. If you're moving every 18 months to 2 years, there's going to come a point where you have to understand this. The in-house company that you might join eventually, or the law firm that you may look to join in the future, or even a legal tech firm or an overseas firm, wherever your future holds, if they look at your CV and you've moved every couple of years, they're going to be looking at you, as everybody does when anybody gets hired. This is an investment. What is my return on my investment? Now, if their return on investment is they're looking at you and going, well, this person moves every couple of years, they're not going to get a return on investment. So it's very likely that they'll skip over you and look for someone else who's been a bit more loyal. So it's not every day that you hear from someone in recruitment that says stay where you are, but quite often we will tell the more junior lawyers, those at the beginning of their careers, to be very, very careful about how many times they move. The optimum would be a couple of times, in a 6 year period, maybe. Try to stay somewhere 3.5 years, maybe longer. It depends. And it really depends on whether you're still growing and still being challenged in your role. Because if you are, then you've got no reason to leave. But yeah, just be careful of that and be very, very wary.